The National Library of Jamaica was established in 1979 under the Institute of Jamaica Act of 1978. It originated from the collection of the West India Reference Library, which was founded in 1894 as a section of the Public Library of the Institute of Jamaica. This public library was the first of its kind in Jamaica. It began operations in 1879 when the Institute of Jamaica was established for the encouragement of literature, science, and art. The West India Reference Library began as a small collection of Jamaican and West Indian books under the guidance of Frank Cundall, the Secretary Librarian of the Institute from 1891 until his death in 1937. It developed into a comprehensive collection, rich in primary source materials covering all aspects of Caribbean life and society. The West India Reference Library formed the nucleus of the National Library. The establishment of the National Library was influenced by proposals which date back to the 1960s, when the need for such an institution was identified by the Jamaica Library Association and other interested organizations. The establishment of a national library was one of the principal recommendations of the Plan for a National Documentation, Information, and Library System for Jamaica, produced in 1977 by the National Council on Libraries, Archives, and Documentation Services, known as NACOLADS. NACOLADS itself had been established in 1973 to advise the government on the planning and coordinating of library and archive services in Jamaica. A National Library of Jamaica Act was drafted in the year 2003, but came into law on the 31st of December 2010. The Act is entitled the National Library Act of Jamaica 2010. This law confirms the autonomy of the National Library, establishes the National Library as a corporate body, and provides a legal framework to formalize the mandates and operations of the library. Here is Ms. Valerie Francis, Head of Acquisitions at the National Library, explaining legal deposit.
Legal deposit is a statutory obligation which requires that any organization, commercial or public, and any individual producing any type of documentation in multiple copies be obliged to deposit one or more copies with a recognized national institution. These deposits become a record of the nation's published heritage and development. In 2002, the Legal Deposit Act was passed in Jamaica, and the National Library of Jamaica designated the principal legal depository. It came into operation on the 11th day of October 2004. The law states that 2 copies of a printed document, or 1 copy if it is an audiovisual item, should be deposited with the National Library of Jamaica within 1 month of the publication of the document. The benefits, just think of it, is that you have published your book, you have deposited your CD, your DVD with the National Library of Jamaica. It will be here for 10, 15, 20, 100 years.
Since its inception in 1979, the National Library of Jamaica has become one of the island's premier cultural institutions, attracting both local and foreign researchers looking for material unique to the organization. Books and pamphlets. The foundation of the library, the book and pamphlet collection, epitomizes our core function. It consists of most of the significant works published about Jamaica and the Caribbean, primarily by Jamaican and Caribbean authors from the 17th century to the present. The collection numbers approximately 47,000 titles and includes, as well as contemporary material, many rare and valuable books which contain early historical and descriptive accounts of the island. Calendars. The collection of the National Library is not restricted to what may be considered the obvious, that is, books, pamphlets, periodicals, etc. It includes items as diverse as calendars. Calendars are more than simply a system of organizing units of time for the purpose of reckoning time over extended periods. They have become tools for organizations in both the public and private sector in their efforts to bring attention to their mission and products respectively. The library has a variety of calendars dating as far back as 1974 and are from various organizations and groups. For example, the Bank of Nova Scotia, the National Environmental Protection Agency, and Fame FM. Researchers often use them to get a better understanding of designs, expression, and audience, as they often allow persons to realize the culture and situations that existed during that period. Film and sound. The audiovisual collections are available in a number of formats, including phonodiscs, music and spoken word audio cassettes, compact discs, video cassettes, and films. They contain features on aspects of Jamaica's culture and history, archival footage of historical events and noteworthy places, interviews with outstanding Jamaicans, including educators, authors, and artists, documentaries on political and social issues as well as the environment, travelogues, literary readings, oral and musical performances, music recordings. The jewel of the audiovisual collection is a film collection, which consists primarily of footage obtained from the Jamaica Information Service, JIS. The collection has approximately 3.5 million feet of 16mm, mostly black and white archival films. Did you know? Farmer Brown Learns Good Dairying was the first film produced by the Jamaica Film Unit, precursor of the present Jamaica Information Service, in 1952. It was made for adult audiences to help solve the problem of effecting better care and management of dairy cows in order to improve milk production in Jamaica. Manuscripts. A manuscript is, by definition, a book, document, or other composition written by hand. A typewritten or handwritten version of a book, an article, a document, or other work, especially the author's own copy, prepared and submitted for publication in print, which makes the manuscript collection of the National Library unique and one of our most valuable. The collection consists of unpublished material such as plantation records, correspondence, diaries, and scrapbooks. Maps. This collection consists of over 20,000 maps containing information on land holdings and the internal layout of estates and plantations covering the 18th and 19th centuries. The collection is unique to the region. Newspapers. The newspaper collection is the most comprehensive of its kind in existence. It includes over 100 titles dating back to 1718, when printing was introduced in Jamaica by Robert Baldwin. It has all the surviving copies of the Gleaner, the oldest continuous published Jamaican newspaper, which began in 1834. The photographs. The photograph collection is a large collection which dates back to 1844, when Adolphe Dupuy published his Zagarrian excursions in Jamaica. It is a collection of views and public buildings taken by Dupuy with a daguerreotype printed in Paris. By the end of the 19th century, photography had been well established in Jamaica, and the National Library has a representative collection of the works of many of these photographers, such as J.B. Valdez, Cleary and Elliott, Dupuy and Sons, and J.W. Brennan. Postcards. The National Library of Jamaica's postcard collection comprises over 1,100 postcards on the cultural, economic, and political aspects of the Jamaican society. The collection covers various subjects which have impacted the environment, the people, social life and customs, agriculture, art, buildings, exhibitions, slavery, and sports. The collection provides a vivid and detailed source of information that charts early forms of recreation, social conditions in the post-emancipation period, Jamaican architecture, ports and harbors, and damage caused from major disasters such as the 1907 earthquake and hurricanes as early as 1912. Located in the National Library's special collections, these priceless souvenirs are of immense value to researchers interested in Jamaica's heritage in architecture, business, and social life. Posters. The National Library of Jamaica has in its collection over 900 samples of posters bearing various designs. These posters span over 100 subject headings. Here is a list of selected titles from our in-house poster database. Agriculture in Jamaica, Jamaica School of Dance Workshop in Concert, the Australian Ballet, performances in New York, Come to the Caribbean, Operation Roots' Rely on Ourselves to Survive. Prints. The print collection consists of pictorial and graphic representation of life in Jamaica and the West Indies dating back to the 17th century. Significant items in the collection include 18th century engraving and lithographs by Louis Belanger and James Robertson, and copies of James Haquill's A Picturesque Tour Through the Island of Jamaica from drawings made in the years 1820 and 1821. Joseph Kidd's West Indian Scenery, Illustrations of Jamaica, 1833 to 1840, and Isaac Belisario's Sketches of Character, done in 1837. Serials. The National Library has a rich collection of approximately 5,000 Jamaican and Caribbean periodical titles, which include magazines, newsletters, journals, bulletins, reports, and gazettes that deal with a wide range of subjects, including history, economics, gender studies, literature, music, health, law, banking and finance, theater, agriculture, archaeology, theology, and the culinary arts. The collection includes titles as diverse as the Jamaica Journal, which explores Jamaica's history and culture, and the minutes of the House of Assembly, records of the proceedings of the earliest government in Jamaica dating back to 1661. Come explore, discover, and connect with the National Library as we continue to collect history and preserve the culture as our contribution to the continuing development of Jamaica.